Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope everyone has had a great week. I've had a pretty decent week this week. I'm just overall doing pretty well. Get a lot of work done. Pretty busy. Just a lot of good stuff happening at the moment, so I'm feeling pretty good about everything. Um, Looking forward to this weekend meeting up with some fellow like-minded people from the Healthy Rebellion, located here in New Hampshire. So a couple of us can get together, just hang out, get some good community in. And one of the things that I struggle with is just social interactions with other like-minded people that aren't kids. So yeah, that's a positive highlight for me for the this coming weekend. But what I want to talk about this week is I was chatting with someone. They were looking for some advice. Um, they had um, they had a kind of restarting their health journey after a surgery and stuff like that, and they've started on a positive note, started joined a boot camp class to help motivate them to do exercise and whatnot. And the person had predominantly leaned in a more low carbohydrate eating pattern, and the instructors at the boot camp were telling this person that they were not eating enough carbs and were not eating enough calories. And so, being an open-minded person, they made some tweaks to their diet and thought maybe, hey, maybe I to get the most out of these workouts, I should eat a little bit more. I should eat a little more carbohydrates. And they tried it, which is certainly a credit to this person, because so many of us get set in our ways and have this very fixed mindset, and we don't we don't take criticism or advice very well. And this person took it in stride and tried it out. Right, he was very open minded about it, and they tried it, but they just didn't feel right. Right, there's something about it was not working for them. First of all, the person's goal was fat loss, and they were not losing any fat, and they felt full all the time, and they couldn't even come close to the amount of food that the instructors were suggesting that they eat, and she just felt. I just revealed it. Their gender. Not that that makes a difference, but she just felt she felt just very uncomfortable with the whole situation. And after quite a few back and forth comments with this person, as I tend to do with online interactions, just to make sure that I gather as much information as I possibly can before kind of making a judgment call or giving any kind of advice, because I mean, as I always say, context is super important. I told this person that, if ultimately, the one of the most important things that you do, or when you're trying to decide on a way of eating, is that you actually enjoy the way you're currently eating and the food you're eating and the amount of food you're eating, etc. And if you don't do that, you can say hi to my daughter who's sneaking in the office in the background. If you don't do that, it's not maintainable. You're not going to stick with it. It's not going to last you a lifetime. So I told her, regardless of what the instructor might say, the right thing to do right now for you is to go back to a way of eating that is enjoyable to you, that you actually feel comfortable eating, and you physically don't feel sick when you eat the foods. Um, and that's step number one, right? And regardless of whatever the goal is. Second of all, their goal, while I'm a proponent of whole food carbohydrates, and I think that they have their place in everyone's diet, as long as they, again, they feel like they can eat them and they feel comfortable eating them, etc. Um, and I'm also a proponent of eating as much as you possibly can while achieving your goals. I don't think that this person's goal was optimal performance during her workouts with the instructor. So are carbs 100% necessary for her, given her goals? No, especially if, she can achieve her goals on a lower carb diet. Maybe she isn't the best during the workout. Maybe she doesn't lift as much weight or, do whatever. I'm not exactly, I think they're a boot camp style workout. So maybe she doesn't do as many burpees or whatever. But that's fine. That's not her goal, right? Her goal is to optimize her body composition. In addition, it turns out she was eating quite a bit less than calories than they had suggested, and they just were blanket statement. You need to eat this many calories. And while I think that again, that everyone should have a goal of eating as much food as they possibly can while achieving their goal. I don't think that you just tell someone to go from eating, basically increase their caloric intake 700 calories overnight, right? Because I don't care who you are or what's going to happen. Like, most likely that's going to end up in fat gain. We have to kind of ease people into it, right? And also, part of the reason why she probably felt uncomfortable, our bodies are used to eating, a certain amount of food, and you start eating almost, you know, a third more of the calories you were eating. Of course, you're going to feel uncomfortable. Your body's not used to it. You have to gradually move the bar over time and make small increases and small changes and just be very patient with it. It's not a overnight change that you can do that. So as you all know, I'm very intentional and very gradual with dietary changes that I make in my clients. Just listen to the interview I did last week with Jennifer. We increased carbohydrates over a 6 month period, not in one day. So change needs to be gradual. It needs to be progressive. It needs to be, and also needs to be when you're comfortable and ready to make the change. It's not just, again, credit to her for trying, but like maybe she wasn't ready to do this, right? And so I think that I guess my ultimate message here is um, I encourage everyone to experiment with their diets and try new things and find maybe new ways of eating that help them reach their goals, and not to be afraid of doing that. But just like with everything, we need to take it in a small incremental style, right? We need to be patient. We need to respect the fact that our bodies are not just some kind of robotic machines, that they have patterns and we have feelings and we're used to certain things, and change can be hard to do, whether it's subconscious or conscious change. So when we decide to make a change, we need to be patient. We need to do it mindfully. We need to do it incrementally. And if something does not feel right and it does not work well, and I don't care who tells you, whether I tell you or the most respected physician out there tells you, or your mom, friend, whatever that had great success. I don't. It doesn't matter if it doesn't feel right for you. It doesn't, and you gave it an honest go, and it's just not working for you. Then change it. Go back. Go back to what you're doing. It's not working. So try something else. Don't try to just bang your head against the wall and try and see if it's going to work this time or next week, or let me give it give it a fair shot. But like if after a couple of weeks it's not working, it's not working. So let's move on. And that's how we adapt and make change. So that's really kind of the message I wanted to put out there today. I know it's not a sexy thing to say, but I really think that patience and listening to our bodies and respecting what they're telling us, and also not just taking blanket advice is a very important skill to master in our journeys to optimal health and fitness and wellness. So, as always, if you're interested in getting all the material that I put out on a weekly basis, without needing to stalk me on the internet, You can sign up for my newsletter. If you go to rjbhealth.coach, click on the link that says newsletter at the top of the page, and you can enter your email address, and I will email you all the content that I put out, just a couple of emails a week. That's the best way to stay up to date. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, I do have a couple spots left open. I've had a couple clients pop on my my one-on-one list lately, so I got one or two more spots open. So if you're interested before they fill up, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can direct message me, send me an email, or just go to my website at rjbhealth.coach and click the schedule discovery call button right on the homepage and fill out the form, and I will get back to you ASAP, and we can chat more about doing one-on-one coaching. With that, I want to say thanks to everyone. Have an awesome weekend, and I will talk to you all next week.